What is colonial mimicry? Colonial mimicry refers to the way colonized peoples imitated or adopted aspects of the colonizer's culture, like language, dress, education, or behavior as a means of survival, resistance, or for mobility. However, this imitation wasn't about becoming exactly like the colonizer. Instead, it often resulted in a partial, imperfect copy that highlighted the tension between assimilation and identity. The term was famously explored by post colonial theorist Homi K. Bhabha, who described mimicry as almost the same but not quite. In other words, when colonized individuals mimicked their colonizers, they couldn't fully replicate them because of inherent differences in power, culture, context. This almost but not quite dynamic created an uneasy relationship. It allowed colonized people to gain some advantages while also reinforcing the dominance of the colonizer. For example, under colonial rule, many Indians sought Western style education, learned English, and adopted British customs to climb the social ladder. For instance, wearing Western suits or speaking fluent English became markers of status and sophistication. But no matter how well they mimicked the British ways, these individuals were still seen as inferior by their colonizers. They weren't fully accepted into British society, yet they often distanced themselves from their own traditional roots, creating a fractured sense of identity. But colonial mimicry wasn't just about blindly copying the colonizer. In many cases, it carried subtle forms of resistance. By adopting elements of the colonizer's culture, colonized people could challenge the system from within. For example, educated Indian elites used their knowledge of English law and politics to advocate for independence. Mahatma Gandhi, trained as a lawyer in London, turned the tools of colonial governance against the British Empire itself. Mimicry then wasn't always passive, it could be subversive. Why does colonial mimicry matter today? Because its legacy continues to shape societies around the world. Many former colonies still struggle with questions of identity, language, and power. Should they embrace the remnants of colonial culture, reject them entirely, or find a balance?